How's it going, everyone? Hope you're having a great day so far. In this video, I wanted to talk about Doom Eternal being delayed and why it is actually a good thing to be released at a later date. I know a lot of us were bummed out at first when we saw the news about it, but it'll be worth the wait for sure. Before I get going, I always want to thank you all for the support on the channel, and for those who are new here, if you enjoy anything Doom related or similar to it, then you are in the right place. The Doom community has been doing very well so far, so let's keep going strong with the hype for Doom Eternal. Alright, let's get started. The delay of Doom Eternal seems to have come at a time that most of us didn't see coming. I, for one, was really bummed out and was really looking forward to playing the game in November. Of course, things happen and we just have to adapt to the situation the best we can. Id Software has always had an awesome track record and for the most part hasn't let us down yet. The original Doom games were masterpieces, Doom 3 changed things up in many ways, and Doom 2016 really set the bar for modern shooters. We really should give id a lot of credit for being an awesome developer for what happened with the development cycle for Doom 2016. For those who may not have known, the game was first titled Doom 4 and was an entirely different game. They had a big chunk of it finished, but in the end scrapped it because it just didn't fit what they wanted for a Doom game. Of course, there would have been other reasons for canceling Doom 4, but they were dedicated in delivering the best shooter they have ever released to date for us, the fans. After canceling Doom 4 and then working on Doom 2016, there was way more than the time they have worked on Doom Eternal so far. They also created the id Tech 6 engine, realigned their vision for Doom, and in the end produced something beyond our belief. Id Software is full of some of the most talented people in the world, and I am very grateful for the time and effort they put in the games they work on. Doom Eternal is delayed, but for many good reasons. I of course don't work for Id Software, but here are my thoughts on why it could have been delayed. For those who have had the opportunity to play the demo for Doom Eternal, first, I envy you, and second, should very well know that it was just a demo. By now, most of us should realize that demos are not in any way, shape, or form exactly like the finished product. They may be somewhat similar, but are intentionally different, and things are bound to change by the game's release. The demo that was playable was something that id was working on since the spring and was just a part of one level. I've watched so much gameplay of it, and even just that demo spans across many locations and still leaves chunks of it out. Overall, my point is that id Software put a lot of effort in the demo to give us a taste of what is to come in the final version. That would mean there is a ton more to be shown, and we have no idea on how much of the game is even finished. Even the Doom 2016 demo that was shown at E3 in 2015 was really different from the final version. Almost everything changed on that level when we finally got to play it for the first time. All in all, it may just be that Doom Eternal was not finished yet, at least as far as the campaign. According to the post that released on social media, the Switch version of the game and not even Invasion was finished yet. Despite not seeing much info on it since QuakeCon of 2018, it does make sense that they want to fine-tune it and have it available after the March release date. Battle mode, on the other hand, wasn't mentioned in the post, so it would be safe to assume that that mode will be available day one, unless they say otherwise. To me, it makes sense because they showed off a lot of it at E3 and QuakeCon of this year. I feel that they wanted to really make a good impression on multiplayer because last time it wasn't quite up to expectations. Don't get me wrong, Doom 2016 was fun, but it did lack some Doom elements that could have been implemented in the game. The campaign, on the other hand, is the bread and butter of the Doom franchise, and after having an amazing game like Doom 2016, I can get an idea of how much pressure id would have in making Doom Eternal to meet our expectations of a sequel. A big part of the delay could have been that they want to optimize it completely and or try to make things work with Bethesda. I don't have anything against Bethesda, but as of recently in the gaming world, publishers tend to want to implement many of their ideas and microtransactions, etc. into many games. I don't think there will be anything crazy with microtransactions in Doom Eternal, but there may be some skins to buy or some buffs for those who may not be the best at Doom and just want to play the game at their own pace. I don't see anything wrong with that as long as it won't be a pay to win, especially for the modes of Invasion and Battle Mode. The last thing I want is to have people invade my campaign with a ton of upgrades they bought and then go to town on me. I really don't want to get into talking about microtransactions, but it may have had a very small impact to the delay. I may even be completely wrong. Hopefully someone from id can shed some light on that. Another reason that the delay could have happened goes hand in hand with the optimization of the game. Those who are fortunate to play Doom 2016 on the PC have no doubt experienced Vulkan and know how amazing it is. Having a constant 200 FPS is such a game changer, especially when moving over to PC from the Xbox like I did. Vulkan makes the game run so well that even if you have a lower end PC, you can still get amazing results with Doom 2016 and other titles that use it. For instance, I have a GTX 1660 Ti, a mid-range GPU, and with Vulkan I can max out the settings and still get a constant 200 FPS. Granted, the game is 3 years old and my GPU is relatively new, but the point is Vulkan is an amazing technology, and if you haven't used it yet or want to know more about it, I highly recommend looking into it. With Doom Eternal, it plans on using Vulkan, but with id Tech 7, they might have run into a few slight hiccups when optimizing the game to run with each other. I would assume that anytime a game developer creates a new engine, there may be some compatibility issues at first and maybe down the road. At my day job, I work with IT, and whenever they release a new update or build, as they call it, the system we use to help customers with orders, etc. may encounter a side effect of sorts. The point is that something new may have some kind of compatibility issue or side effect with another system. If this is the case with Doom Eternal, then I am all for them trying to make it better. Just like the rest of you, I'd rather have a polished game than something that will have a ton of glitches at launch and need to have patches immediately just to have the game run decently. It's too bad that there are games out there that suffered just that, all because either the publisher wanted a cash grab of sorts or pushed the developer too much. I can talk all day about how Anthem was a big disappointment, but I'm 100% positive that Doom Eternal will be far from that disaster. On a positive side of things, I think releasing the game in March is a good time as well. The most recent games like Doom 2016 and Rage 2 were released around the same time frame and did pretty well. Doom Eternal, however, will be very close to the release of Cyberpunk 2077. Of course, many developers may not necessarily have a ton of options on when to release a game, but I think this will work perfectly. I want to get both games, but since Doom Eternal is before Cyberpunk, they may actually get more people to buy their game instead of Cyberpunk. For those on a budget especially, will either pick one or the other, not both. Obviously they are two different kinds of games, but they are from two of the biggest developers who have more than amazing games and have a dedicated fan base. So if id Software can market their game efficiently, they may win over some people who are going to get Cyberpunk. An example of this would be with the original date for Doom Eternal on November 22nd and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which would come out a week earlier. I'm a huge Star Wars fan and wanted to get both of them, but because they were so close to each other, I would have decided to get Doom Eternal then wait on Star Wars. My dilemma was that I wouldn't be able to devote enough time into Star Wars. For someone like me who doesn't have a ton of time to play games, buying the right game at the right time makes all the difference. Now that there is a bigger gap between the two games, I can get them both. This may be the same thing for Doom Eternal and Cyberpunk. For those who have more of an issue of having time to play games like I do, then they will most likely only choose one of the two. This may really go in favor for id Software or completely go south. I guess we'll see who will win the battle once we get closer. The last thing I think could be good for the delay would be due to both the new consoles and ray tracing. The new consoles won't be coming out until the holiday of 2020, but with Doom Eternal now being released in the same year, they can market the game to run with the new systems and technology of ray tracing on the consoles. We'll most likely see a demo of sorts at E3 showing off both the new Xbox and PlayStation and what they can do, and by that time, id Software may have a new ray tracing demo to show off on the consoles. id Software wants to have ray tracing on Doom Eternal for sure, but it was going to be after launch when they were going to try to get it on the game. Now that we have more time for the game to get polished and optimized, I'm thinking ray tracing might be available a little closer to launch or even at launch. If all they really needed to do was polish the game rather than actually finishing big parts of the game, then ray tracing is a possibility. In my opinion, if they were able to have ray tracing available before E3, then that would be good marketing to show off how great it will work on consoles. Ray tracing is somewhat new and only a handful of games are able to optimize it well, but by next year there will be more titles that will take advantage of it. I know that not everyone is on that bandwagon, but honestly, if the new consoles are adopting it and Nvidia are focusing more on it, then it's only a matter of time until all games will support it. Overall, the delay of Doom Eternal is something that would be worth it in the long run. We all wanted it to come out in November, but at least the company that we love are being transparent and have a desire to give us the best thing possible. Hopefully though, we will have some more reveals soon just to hold us over until March. Maybe the demo will be public and I can finally get a taste of Doom Eternal. What do you guys think about the delay? Do you think it was just to polish it up more, or is there more to it? Let me know in the comment section. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I plan on producing more Doom Eternal videos on the channel leading up to the new release date. I'll try to also have other videos on other topics just to mix things up a bit as well. Without some new content soon, I may run out of ideas, so hopefully something will be revealed soon. Be sure to like and subscribe, that will help out the channel a ton. I want to try setting a new goal of 15,000 subscribers by Doom Eternal, so let's see what we can do. Also check out my social media accounts at RipNtear Gaming Gaming to stay up to date with things over there. You guys are awesome, and I know we can handle the wait for Doom Eternal. Till next time, fellow Slayers, don't forget to rip and tear. Peace.